You're listening to Ignite Your Success, a podcast that inspires fitness professionals to build a strong business that enables them to serve more people and engineer the lifestyle they desire. It's Brad Shepherd here, and together with Jason Ubanowicz, we're best known for running Trainer HQ, a community of passionate and profit-hungry fitness business owners that make a massive difference in others' lives every day. Each episode will unpack for you exactly what's working and deliver best practice strategies so you can confidently grow your business and make a huge impact. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another very special edition of the Trainer HQ podcast, because today I'm joined by not only the owner of Impact Your Life, which you're going to hear about soon, but also Trainer HQ's Master Coach of the Year 2023, Kate Kendall. How you going, Groover?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm bloody excellent, man. Good to have you along. We had a couple of false starts on this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Well,
technology in BALI and system challenges, but we're here. We made
stuff.
it.
Yeah, we've a couple of months, but anyway, we're here. Except October, and we made it. So you're in Bali, and we're going to get to that shortly, which is super cool because you've I guess picked up your life and your business, and you've taken it there. So what's the Bali experience like?
It's been interesting. I've been here for about, I think, 15 months, I think now. And it's been great. It's, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about even just the lead up to me actually making the decision to sell on my staff and, get rid of give so much stuff away, that minimalist lifestyle, just, learning what I learned leading up to that, what was really important for me and stuff, that we accumulate in life and
I was going to say, I bet you had a shitload of it, right?
Oh, so much. And I had multiples of so much stuff. For what purpose? Right. So, so it was a really interesting journey, leading up to making that decision to do that. And, then to be here and, it's had its challenges as well. The language barriers and the lifestyle is, totally different, but it's taught me to be a lot, more patient, and you've got to be very patient here and with lots of things. And just the culture, the way they live is been, really eye-opening, as even though I'd travelled here a lot, I'd always come for the events and, all the ignites and all that kind of stuff with you guys. And I just loved the holidays here and all that kind of stuff. So to live here is just that little bit different, seeing how the locals live and being kind of a bit of a local. And it's been a really amazing experience, some really beautiful moments and some real challenges, which has had me dig real deep into, which obviously is what I love doing, which we'll talk about a bit more later. The things I, go deeper with is I'm able to then help my clients and, our clients within Trainer HQ. So,
That's awesome. So good. So, like you said, so many levels to that, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't start in the personal development space or the fitness industry. You've got a whole nother career in recruitment. Tell us about your early days.
Yeah, when I kind of left school, I went in hospitality. I loved, being in hospitality, got to travel, and then I fell into recruitment, which I loved at the time because I was helping people to find jobs, and I was I was a relationship builder, so I was building relationships with clients, and then I was, finding the right fits, and it was high energy, it was high, KPIs, and, it was lots of highs and the lows. So it was, you'd get a sale, and then, you get these massive commissions, you get the adrenaline high.
Dopamine.
Yeah, and then someone pulls out, within the 2 months of starting or something like that, and you'd have to then go back to the drawing board, or or they'd pull out and find a different job or whatever. So, I loved that career for such a long time. It paid me really well, and I was great at it, and I was a leader. I had teams and all that kind of stuff, and I just got to this stage. There was kind of a little bit of a moment in my life that relationship situation, and also me feeling like there's got to be more to my life than this. And that's where I went into a role which is in safety, which was in recruitment, because I really love the safety around people coming home from work, and being safe in their environment that they're working. Yeah. And so I really loved that it was that whole training and empowering people to look after themselves and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of how it sort of led me into, looking after yourself in a health and wellness, because there was a lot of mental health issues in the workplace and, work covers and all those kind of stuff. So I started to look after that aspect, but the roles kind of became a paper-based, and it wasn't about people, and it was all about legislations and all that kind of stuff. And I just got to this point where I was like, I would cry before I'd go to work. And I was like, I just don't think I can keep doing life like this. And it was pretty much, I think that led to, I was training myself. I was, fit and healthy and all that kind of stuff. And my ex and I used to train together, and he was a personal trainer. And when we separated, I went to the expo, and that's where I ran into you guys and met you guys. And I can't remember what year that was, probably 10 years ago now.
I have to think it would have been 2013, I reckon. Would have been expo. Yeah. Because the first event you attended of ours, I'm fairly certain, was early 2014, if I've got my dates right.
That probably, kind of makes sense. So it was 10 odd years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but I met you before I'd been in business. Obviously, I hadn't. I was studying at that point. I think I just started, and I got your book at the expo, and that's where I first. That's where our connection
started. And you were coming to the event, I believe, at the Chalk Hotel in Brisbane.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. There you go. We're about to run the 140th edition of that event in Brizzy. So
that's so cool. I might actually be back for that. I might have to come tag along.
Reminisce.
You reminisce, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully we've got some new gags. Probably not, actually. We're probably still doing the same gags from 10 years ago. So
you're still doing the bring?
I do, yeah. I do the bring. So that's what got you into the fitness industry. So that was really the start for you, because you were studying. And so I guess, like, for you must have, I guess, had a bit of a mindset to go, okay, cool, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. Was that what it was back then?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I really did the course originally for my own, because I love training. I'd only really got into training at the gym. It was probably my early kind of 20s, I think, mid 20s. But I then kind of
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's right. And in my later kind of 20s, I was then, kind of like, I really wanted to learn more about, how I trained and
the human body and the passion for it. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who go and do their certification just purely out of passion, enthusiasm about understanding more about the body. And
and that's really why I ended up starting to do it. I think I did in my early 30s, and I was just so fascinated, at that point for just myself. And then people were asking me to train them, and, and that's where I'm like, oh, I can't do that, and I just had this limiting belief around it. And then I thought, maybe I could do this, and, maybe you guys. And I was still working when I started coaching, ended up saying yes, and started coaching. And I, got my business, started while I was working with you guys, before I actually took the leap of faith out of my 20-year career.
Because you started out predominantly more like outdoors, didn't you? And was it kind of like mobile PT or boot camps? Was it, or what were you mostly doing?
It was boot camps mainly. I didn't do mobile. There was a park in Queensland, in Brisbane, that I was training people at, and I just started by, word of mouth, really, that I started doing that. And even one-on-ones I'd do there at the park. I had it in my mindset that I didn't want to be in the gym, but it was interesting.
And then back then you were doing the early, do a couple of sessions in the morning, go to work from your standard day job, and then pick some up in the afternoon.
Yep. Yep, I did that, and Saturday mornings, and just kind of did that for the love of it to start, kind of start with, and then was like, nah, I'm, this is me, this is my calling, and my journey to go on.
Can you remember how long roughly you were doing that whole sort of part-time PT, full-time work before you transitioned, and then what was the sort of the turning point, and how did you slowly stop working, or did you just go stuff it? I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, I think I did it maybe could have been 6 months to a year. Feels so long ago now, but I think it was a fairly long time.
Yeah. You've still got the guaranteed salary, right? So you've got a 20-year career, you're in recruitment.
Yeah.
There's money coming in. There's all that part, right? So there's all that. And we have reason I'm asking this, we have so many people who are tuned into this who have been in that exact same position, right? That's like, all right, I've got this full-time gig. How am I, how do I get myself slowly out of it,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the support was really good, because and I say to a lot of my clients that are in these positions and put so much pressure on themselves, you've just got to bite-sized chunks. And, I just chipped away at the things that I could do while I was outside of, of work, to be able to grow my business and learn how to do business, because I had no idea, being in a career, and it's just such a whole different, different mindset. It's a different ball game. You have people in, I had people in in my head telling me, stay in a 9-to-5 job, why would you go and, leave a career? It's such a good career, it pays you well.
Holiday pay, sick pay, all that part, right? Yep, you've been there for 20 years,
Yep, absolutely. You're good at what you do, you get paid, why would you leave? And that would go on in my mind over and over, keep me awake at night, and but I just ended up, I thought, what have I got to lose? And I was like, I used to think that I could come back to it if I needed to, and I always had that kind of fallback. And as I learned as I went along, this journey, I ended up had some stages throughout my business that I would go, I can fall back on that. So I actually had that in my subconscious, that I could fall back on that. So I had to change that mindset to go, no, I'm burning that boat, that career. I'm done with that career. And I'm fully focused on my business, and no matter what, I'm going to be focused on this business. And I think we can use that as such I'll be right, I'll fall back onto that, I can go back to that, So it was a real shift for me further down my journey, that I wasn't falling back on that, because I was actually doing that, through periods of time.
Yeah, it's such a powerful message, isn't it? Because again, we, now for coaching people for many years, and me, I've seen it for people who are sort of hanging on to something, and it could be a metaphor for anything. You're either hanging on to an energy vampire client that's a pain in the ass and they always cancel and they're shit payers and all that, or you're hanging on to a part-time job over here because there's that little bit of security, but it's not really fulfilling you and so forth. And a bit like that, it was kind of there in the subconscious, but it's like, hold on, let's just assume that thing's not even an option anymore,
Yeah, absolutely. And once you do that, I think you're so, feeling the fear as well, and the fear or the emotions that you feel when you're going, okay, this is a bit scary, and it's like, it is a little bit scary, feel that feeling, but it's also exciting, the possibilities and the opportunities that are out there when you actually give yourself permission to go fully into what really lights you up and inspires you. So and I think that radiates into the work that you do, and people come to you then when you're in that space too. So yeah.
Love it. That's so cool. So during this early phase of the fitness industry, so now that you've sort of left your full-time career job, you got to experience the industry in a few different parts. So you did end up in a gym, you've outdoor boot camp. So tell us a bit about that phase of the journey.
Yes, I love the outdoor. I really thrived in the outdoor world, and just being in the fresh air and all that kind of stuff. And I had this mindset that because when I trained at gyms myself, there was, it seemed to be the trainers I didn't like the image that the trainers had at the gym. So I always had this, in my mind that I wouldn't be a trainer at a gym. I don't want to be, that type of trainer. Once again, stories that I couldn't, I wasn't going to go into that world because I didn't want to be like them. Instead of having the mindset, of going, well, I can do it differently, and I'm going to, by going into the gym and, not be that person that's on their phone, and caring about what they look like in the mirror and caring about your clients,
Gotcha. Yeah. Because when you were saying that, I'm going, what? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but they just said it makes sense. Like there's a lot of very average trainers out there who are just like really kind of just present, but not present. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of ego, and there's a lot of, it's cool to be a trainer, and they, strutting around ignorance and, all that kind of stuff. So it was just stories that I was telling myself anyway, and, the perception and the eyes that I was looking through, the lenses I was looking through. So anyway, I ended up low-hanging fruit. I jumped into a gym. I wanted to, get that experience in a gym. And, there was an opportunity that came to me that they needed a girl trainer at Snap Fitness in Brisbane, and there was no other girl trainers. And I jumped in and I actually loved it. I loved. So there's, that just goes to show the stories that we tell ourselves and holds us back in actually doing something that we really could enjoy. But I was, even though I love training in the gym myself, I was stopping myself going in there, but I actually loved training in the gym. I loved that environment and, the feel for that. And, I started with no clients, and I just, you and I had spoken, leading up to that, and, I was being coached with you guys, and I just jumped all in. And, 4 days a week, I got my business up to 3,000, a week. And it was, I loved it. And it was, I learned so much in that environment, and a lot of fun, and, you get to impact, lives. So
I remember that because you've developed a really well-oiled machine too. I remember you had your whole system down pat. It was like meticulous. Like, yep, I do clients at this certain time, but not that time. You've set your ground rules as well, which was really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to be at the gym every, 5 days a week and 6 days a week. And I had it structured that I'd go in the morning and I'd go in the afternoon. So I'd have, I wasn't doing split, I didn't want to do split shifts. And I had to, at the beginning, I had to really be strong, because it's like, oh, I want that client. So I'd, put them where it suited them. And I had, with obviously your guys' help, I set it up that I was like, well, I've actually got this spot available. And, and then it worked out that more people, when I set up what my availability was, they would fit into my availability. So I then didn't have, one in the morning and one in the afternoon and so many different gaps. And it's difficult and challenging in the first instance when you start out, right? So, but you've got to think about how do you want to set up your business for longer term, so that you can set those foundations and the boundaries and stuff that you want, because otherwise you'll be there from, dusk till midnight type
that's
thing.
Right.
So.
And you're 100% correct that like those who are tuning into this, who might be, let's say, for example, you're a bit newer to the game and you're on your stage of growth, and you can feel like I've just got to be everything to everyone, train anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I used to have a mantra like that. And it's like, it's, sometimes, and when cash flow is important, it can impact you, right? So it's finding that happy balance in between the two. You don't want to be so meticulous that, I've got to do my 3 hours of my own personal stuff in the morning before I even go to the gym. But on the flip side, it's like you don't want to be spread all over the place, So it's a really powerful thing. And like you think about the people that the people you've coached who are on that journey, it's educating them to go, it becomes easier to say no when you've got a deeper yes burning inside and a deeper desire to build something that's really important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big thing that I did at the gym, and a lot of people forget, is I was there every hour of every day. That I was like I was there Monday to Friday every day until I was fully booked and people knew who I was.
When you were available, but you wanted to fill up. Yeah, it wasn't just you breeze in and breeze out. And
I was there. It's because then when people were there, I was able to have conversations with them. That people got to know me. People get, a lot of clients that we obviously work with have that fear around going and talking to people like they're going to be selling to them. I didn't sell to them. I just had conversations, and I just built relationships, because when they had questions, they'd come to me and ask me questions, because then you're approachable and people get to know you. So many people, like they need to be ticking the boxes of likability and trustability and, you know, get to know, like, and trust you. So being present at the gym was really important for me to build that foundation and that relationship. So when someone walked in, they're signing up, they can sit down and have a conversation about their goals and all that kind of stuff. So
that time thinking back at the gym, does it feel like currently standing here today, does it feel like that was a lifetime away? Does it feel like yesterday, or was it?
It feels a bit lifetime ago, but I had actually a memory come up the other day of the photo being taken of for the profile for the gym. You know, signing the gym, and it came up the other day. So I was promoting myself, and I was doing some publicity stuff and whatever, marketing, and so it does. When it came up, I was like, wow, that feels like not that long ago, but a long time ago. So, kind of weird feeling. And it's interesting looking back at, you know, who was I back then to who I am now, and the difference in my growth and you know, the journey I've been on.
Yeah, well, I think what you just said then dovetails, I guess, perfectly into the next stage, because really, I guess you knew that you weren't destined just to do that. It was really you went, I guess, effectively on a journey of your own development. So do you want to sort of share with us a bit about what, you know, how that part opened up for you?
Yeah. I just had a moment where I was at the gym, and the gym dynamics changed and the focus of their marketing. And so it kind of was a sign. It felt like a bit of a sign for me that, you know, because they were going away from corporate, you know, focus to low students and that kind of demographics, which then obviously was impacting our leads and the people coming into the gym, right? So I felt there was just a moment, you know, kind of at that time that I needed to go deeper in my own personal development and growth, because the business which we haven't kind of touched on, I went into a business. I bought a business. I thought, you know, I thought I'd done my due diligence. I thought I was ready for it. I thought this was an amazing opportunity. And unfortunately, that didn't go to plan, with a couple of things, you know, that kind of went on. And I went through this, you know, stage of failure, and I lost a lot of money. I really was nasty to myself, and I just pretended I was okay. I didn't ask for help. There was many things throughout that journey, as you know, we've talked about before, that I was sinking really deeply. Like when I was going through that, I wouldn't say it was necessarily depression, but there was probably some, you know, form of depression. You know, I put a smile on my face, but I was hurting inside, that I was, you know, I effed up. And I, you know, made some really bad decisions. I made bad decisions by not actually asking for help, and, you know, leaning into my community. I felt like very alone. Was a real, like, big time in my career and my life, really, because I'd had the relationship not long before that, and then this, you know, another what felt like a failure and heartache, you know, for me. And I thought, how am I going to get out? You know, that's why I went and trained at the gym, the low-hanging fruit. That's why I went to there, and, you know, to help, you know, get myself out of this problem that I was in with the other business, and the responsibility I had for other people that were working for me, and things like that, so, and clients, and, you know, that when was I going to call it and go, I don't know how I can get out of this situation. So that's where my personal development really kind of started. And, you know, I felt not worthy, not good enough. You know, I was an idiot, like, some of the stuff I was saying to myself, you know. So that's where I got into going more into the emotional intelligence. I went into the emotional health, emotional mastery, and, you know, my breath work and my life coaching, and, you know, went on that kind of journey. It started all with me, really.
Yeah. It's amazing. Thanks for sharing, hey, because it's you know, I guess seeing that ride, hey, a challenging time, and for anyone, and, you know, like, you look back now and you go, was that the fact that happened, was that a good day or a bad day, given where it's with the position it's put you in now? It's an interesting one. Hey, only time will tell, right? But It's
absolutely. Yeah. And I always try to find the blessings in the stressings, or blessings in the, the things that don't, the silver lining of, situations. I can't change, what happened. But what I know now, and the work that I've done over the last, kind of 8 years or whatever, or 6 years more so, I wish I knew that more back then, because I dragged on for so long.
Yeah, they say hindsight's a wonderful thing, hey,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I've learned along this journey is that, yes, we have all these situations come up. We have problems occur. We have life and death. We have all facets of life, the highs and the lows, and it's about how do we flow through them with, and not staying stuck in these situations. How do we look at, being above the line to be able to look at what is the solution here? What is the silver lining? What can I learn from that? How do I grow? How do I develop in these situations? And you build your resilience. You build so much learning about yourself. And that's what that's a silver lining for me, because it had me be where I am now, to be able to help people through some really challenging, difficult times, trauma, grief, all those kind of things, and be able to, which hold them back in their business and in their life and all that kind of stuff. So it is even though it was one of the hardest, situations in my life, financially and emotionally, it has, had me, be so much stronger and learn so much. And it's a gift. I was given the gift to be able to then help other people.
Yeah, it's so cool, so beautiful to hear. And you just like the way you speak of it. You're just a true testament to your growth and learning and development in that area, right? So, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tell us a bit about it then. How did I'm not sure if you in some ways you probably said it, but how did you find your purpose, and like who are your people? Like who is it that you're looking to serve? And tell us a bit about your, I guess, impact your life, and what do you do?
Yeah. It's ever evolving. As I grow and as I evolve, impact your life, as I've kept the name the whole time, and maybe a slight logo change or whatever, but it's about impacting people's lives to be able to live the life that they truly desire, whether that's in business or life or their career. And so many people have their emotions and their mindset that gets in the way of them actually achieving what they want to achieve, and the life that they truly want to live. And what does, as we talked about before we came on, about success, and what does that look like for people? And I help people to navigate their way through these challenges and let go of some of those baggages, the black bags that they've carried on, that is, like my, failure of the business. I could leave that bag hanging on my back forever, and keep having that hold me back. Although, what's that purpose? And it's about forgiveness, and how do we work through those limiting beliefs that to create the life that people really desire. And emotions are beautiful things, and I think I like educating people on how to understand their emotions, to use their emotions in a healthy manner and way that actually helps them to be able to thrive in their life, and not have shame and guilt around how they're actually feeling, because we are humans on the human experience called life. And the journey can be a rocky journey at times, and how do we work through and flow through that with as much ease and grace as we possibly can, to because there's so many, when we're storing our emotions and pushing our emotions down, which is what we've been taught, and people are being more educated nowadays to not necessarily do that, but there's still a lot of resistance on actually feeling and being in the present moment, where life is busy, and we get caught up in the busyness. And for what purpose? What's the meaning of life? If we're just caught in the stress and not actually enjoying, the little things in life as well,
Yeah, beautiful. Love it. So good, so good. And give us an idea of who's your ideal client.
Yeah. So I predominantly work with women, but also have men come to me now more, which is good. And I'm opening up more opportunities, because I feel that men men are, they need this work as just as much as women do, even more so, right? And to have them a space being held that they can actually feel and understand their emotions, so they can connect more. We're all humans that want to be connected, want to have, feel loved and be loved. And so I love working with, people that are driven people, although their, emotions are getting in the way of them actually, and they know that this is getting in their way, because then when they lean in and there's just such beautiful transformation when they can actually, take ownership and responsibility of, what they're doing and how that's impacting their results or lack of results. And then we, with compassion and with compassion and support, they can actually work through these challenges that they're facing. And self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, not good enough, not worthy enough, all this baggage from such young age holds people back. And I like to just unpack that, have some, get them to come to heal. So they can feel and they can heal and be able to process, and so they can move forward and thrive in their life and their business. And so, yeah, that's, and I'm running retreats now here in Bali, which had my first retreat in July, which was, phenomenal, which was a women's retreat. Been asked about men, so might explore that at some stage. But I've got 3 next year, which it's just so beautiful having women in the space to really dig deep and be able to go back to the core and back to their heart, and who are you truly at the core, and what's important to you. Because I think we're so much in comparison. I see it with clients all the time, comparing to someone else, with their success or what they're doing or what they've got, and not actually thinking about what do they truly want, and what does success look like for them. And so I like guiding people through to find that, because we're coaching, the coaching that I do and the emotional work that I do is about coming back to the inner. We've all got our answers within us, and it's not me telling them what to do. And it's about how do you find within you what you actually truly want, and what are the next steps for you. Because when you're empowered and know that this is right for you, you're going to do more of that, and you're going to want to do more, and you will continue to do more, and enjoy the journey.
So good, so awesome, so great to hear. I could never hear enough of this. That's for sure. Before we went live today, we were having a brief convo, and you were speaking about, like, I guess, gyms and people attending gyms and fitness industry. It's like there's that very much like join the challenge, and then the challenge finishes, and there's kind of this vicious circle. So do you want to sort of elaborate on that, and I guess how the work you do sort of ties into that as well?
Yeah, the mindset and the emotional work is really, really a big key part. And that's where my own journey of my fitness and my, weight loss and weight management when I was, younger, I would go on those cycles. I'd be chasing, I'd do a fitness challenge, I'd go all in, and, then I'd diet. And then as soon as it had finished, I'd then stop, and I'd go, I'd gain the weight back and some. And it just kept happening to me personally. And then when I was coaching people, the same thing was kind of happening. We get great results. They go, I'm off on my merry way. And then they'd be back going, Kate, I need your help again. And so that's when I went on my personal journey. I was like, these are the key to the health and wellness as well. Like, if we don't have it, if your mindset's not in the right space, if your emotional health, so many emotional eaters, so many binge eaters, using food as comfort, food can be related to comfort in, loss, when someone's actually lost a family member, or they might have had a relationship with their grandfather, or where they'd have certain foods and all those kind of stuff, which gives them comfort. So when they're feeling a certain emotion, they will go back to that little child and be then binging on, those types of foods and stuff. So there was just, and the all in or nothing, mentality as well. I was a bit like that. And it happens in business a lot too. It's either all in or nothing. And then it's debilitating for people because they get overwhelmed. They feel they've got to do everything that the other person's doing, but even the diets or programs or in business, they're, someone's working full time and got kids, but then there's a single fella or single girl that's, young, has no other commitments or responsibilities and is, showing up and doing, what seems like all this extra kind of, stuff. You just can't compare with, apples with bananas. Situations, right? So that's what I found was this work is so individual for the individual person of finding what's going to work for that individual in business or in their health and wellness. And I think if you don't have the mindset in place overall, that creates overwhelm, creates the not good enough, creates the self-sabotage, which then feels like going in these circles. And, something happens, you have a setback or what we label as a failure. Instead of, something I learned a while ago was, you're kind of like climbing up a ladder and you're going on the journey of you think things are going fantastic and everything's, going in your favour. And then you have a little setback and it feels like people say, oh, I'm back to the beginning. I used to say it all the time. I'm back to the beginning. And I got asked one day, and I say this to my clients now, are you really back at the beginning? Are you the same person that you were when you started out? It's like, well, no, I'm not. And it's like, well, if you can think you're not actually back where you started, you're actually, I look at it now as you fell down, maybe you've gone down a couple of runners and I'm going to pick up while I'm down on this, this ladder, a few runners down, I'm going to pick up that bit of gold that I'm finding here right now. And if I can pick up that gold, that then helps you to go steps even further than what you were before because you've come back to that level because you've had to learn something because you haven't learned it before and you've maybe haven't listened or maybe you weren't actually consciously aware that this was a situation and you needed another chance to learn it so that you can grow. So I always look at it as, you're getting the gold and then you're able to, go further. And as we evolve and as we grow, our challenges, we always still get challenges in life and, challenges in business, challenges in our health and wellness. It's just how we manage it and how we work through it, isn't it? So I know you could say as well, like you guys, everything's not always hunky-dory and smooth sailing in business, and you've been in it for 30 years,
That's right. So, yeah, 100%. It's everything you just said there is just resonates so clearly and it's so true in business. It's like we say in here, it's the best personal development program on the planet because it's gonna bring up in front of your face all the stuff you need to get better at and address and have to deal with it, right? So and the other part is it doesn't, like we always say, it doesn't actually get easier. Business doesn't get easier. You just get better. You grow. We had a situation here at Trainer HQ headquarters this morning where our full Trainer HQ domain went down, right? So our server, website, emails, all of we've got paid ads running to about like 5 campaigns and all that. And it turns out that it was a mistake. 5 years ago, we had someone who was working for a sign up for the domain, but we hadn't moved anyway, it was a minor hit, but for about 2 hours, it was like we were, oh, fuck this, fuck that, we were meant to be doing something else, right? But again, the way myself and Jason operate, again, we weren't freaking out. It was just frustrating at that point in time. But like we just go, like you roll with the punches, like unless you go, is that the best you got? The main going down. Whatever. The main middle of your business, but we just knew this shit's going to get sorted. So
absolutely, and I think when when we can go, just stop for a minute and go, okay, what's the solution? How do we get around this? Is it really as big? Because we make things so much bigger sometimes, bigger than Ben-Hur, and amplify how we're, instead of just stopping and go, okay, what's really going, is this really the end of the world? Because we can just exaggerate so many things and, how that impacts the rest of your day. Like you guys could have, stuck on, oh my God, what a disaster, this is so shit. And the rest of your days, stuffed up, because you're so focused on that shit, Yeah. And just to comment on the, things that you get better as, about business being hard. at times, and you just get better at it. And your opportunities you get more opportunities as you grow. You get, as you know, so your challenges get bigger. So you've got to grow bigger to go to that next level. And I just wanted to say something on, you know, for people that are watching that, you know, are fairly new on the journey, and this is a long game. You know, so many people feel that just because in the first 3 months or the first 2 months or the first 6 months they haven't got where they've wanted to get to, and it stops people. People give up and they think they're not good enough, blame the programs, you know, blame us as coaches, those sorts of things, right? And I just invite people to take ownership and responsibility of, you know, your actions and inactions. Are you reaching out to your client, to your coaches? Are you using the resources? Are you asking questions? That was the biggest thing, my learnings earlier on in my time, because I went through many different programs, and I'm like, you know, I'd be like, oh, it's, you know, it's the coach's fault or the system's fault or this or that. And then I was like, what responsibility am I going to take? Did I ask questions? Did I give them an opportunity to answer my questions and help me? No, I didn't, right? So I think people need to take ownership and responsibility and know that this is a long game, and be ready for the journey. And there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, there's going to be setbacks, there'll be challenges, but there's so much growth and development. And if I could have given up when I first started many, many years ago, I'm 10 years now in business, has it been, you know, amazing the whole time? No, but it's been, you know, such a great journey, and the person I've become throughout that has, you know, that's what is, you know, you can't put a price on that.
Priceless. Yeah.
That's it. Can't put a price on it.
Yeah. That's right.
I just want people. Yeah. Sorry.
You go.
I was just you know, just giving people the, you know, have faith and have hope and lean into this journey, right? And don't compare yourself to anyone else's journey. Don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. You do not know what they're doing. You do not know what heartache, what pain, what money they've put in, what investment they've, you know, put into coaching and support and all that kind of stuff. How many times they reach out to their coach or whatever it is. You don't know any of that. So we're comparing. We're comparing to people that you don't really know. So stay in your lane and use it as inspiration.
I love what you said again, like on so many levels of it, for people who are at those early stages. It's just so important because, again, like you said, I always say to people, it's not a marathon, it's not a 100-meter sprint, it's a marathon you're running, right? So this takes time, it takes perseverance, and when you are clear, you have a clear sense of direction and purpose, you know where you're going. There will be rocky times. There'll be days, weeks even, where you're highly intrinsically driven, motivated, and similarly, there'll be days and weeks where you're not, right? And that's completely normal, you know?
Yeah, so normal. And we have to normalize that within the industry, I think, too, because people get caught up in the marketing of, you know, you'll make 10 grand in the first, 90 days. And it's like that's, I had one person ask me one time, what you're saying they're lying. And I said, no, I didn't say they're lying, because they said, I haven't made 10 grand in the first X amount of time. I said, what are those people? You don't know what those people are actually doing, what they've done before, how their business was before. Is it possible? Yes, it is absolutely possible. Although you've got to actually do the work. You can't just, I think the marketing and what's out there, I think there's so much of, you'll get there now, yesterday type thing, and that it's, that online space is easy, and you'll just magically get people following you and knock on your front doors type thing, so
Yeah, and I guess if you look at, like, you go to Trainer HQ, for example, you go to the Instagram page, you look at all the success stories and so forth, like those success stories there, you'll see people that have taken, 3, 5, 8, 10 years to seemingly become an overnight success. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
like, put in the work, get rewarded, right? And we have people that have done it in short spaces in time, and then, but for most people, it's the long game, exactly like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't give up. That's all I, inspire people not to give up, because it is a good journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with bringing in all of your wealth of experience, knowledge, and all the different facets of business you've been in, you've now been coaching at Trainer HQ for a number
Yep.
of years, and been just doing such an amazing job. So, from your experience of doing it now, purely on the business side of things, like what are some of the traits that you see of like the high performers?
Yep. Yeah, the high performers are the ones that are taking ownership and responsibility and ask questions, are willing to be challenged, and take action. And even if they stuff it up, muck it up, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. That's what I say to my clients. And if we're doing 1% each day is going to, add up over time. So, I think that's, ownership and responsibility, leaning in, taking action, and willing to do the inner work and not run away when things get hard. Don't run away. If you lean in, that's when the magic happens. And I've got a few clients that I've been working with over the last year or so, and when they lean into that, when things are challenging, and it's like they'll lean into that, and then that just takes them to that next level, and it's that inner work, I think it's such a big part of this whole journey. That's
beautiful, and that perfectly dovetails, I guess, into my last question. Is really, so you from your opinion, the relationship that exists between the emotional intelligence or the emotional component and business success. So how do you see it from your perspective?
Yeah, I think they play a massive part of it. It's got to have, having the systems, having the processes, having the support, the community, having the emotional aspect and the mindset, the emotional intelligence. I think it's I don't even know what the percentage would be, but I think it's a massive percentage of it, because if you don't, you don't have the right mindset, and you don't, look after your emotional health, it'll just, you can have the best systems in the world, but you won't, you're not helping your clients to succeed if you're not bringing that in with your clients as well, because, we're humans, so we need to, be working on that side of thing and becoming more aware of the language that we use, and how, there's so many different aspects of that emotional and mindset, side of things,
it's so cool. Hey, it's like, I guess we could talk about this again all day, and it's like, you just such an important part. It's get those two parts sorted, right? Get your mindset sorted, plug the right systems into place, and you've got that really beautiful blend to help you succeed and grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I get back from clients as well is how it's rippled out into how they're communicating with their clients, and how they're communicating with their family, how their kids are responding to, because they're reacting in a calmer manner. They're reacting, not reactive, like they're actually coming from a really calm place, and being able to, not coming from an emotional triggered state.
Yeah.
So that, if a client rings up and says, or messages and said, I'm finishing my membership, so many people get emotionally triggered that I'm not good enough, and oh my God, my world's falling apart. People are finishing up their membership. What am I going to do? World's falling apart. We make it about ourselves. All right. People are programmed to make it about themselves, making meaning of something that's happened that is actually got nothing to do with you. It's their own situation, what's going on. So it's about learning, how do you go, okay, well, it's not about me. It's not actually anything. Same with sales. Like, obviously you guys talk about sales, making meaning of a situation. If you ring up someone and they don't answer, or you ring up 5 people and they don't answer, it's like, oh my God, this doesn't work, and I'm not good enough. And, none of these things work. Well, nothing works, so there's so much. I could go on forever with this kind of stuff, but, it's not about making meaning of situations that aren't actually, true. And just, I think when you do the work yourself, is what I was getting at, was the ripple out into family, and the ripple out in how your relationships, and how that, impacts, overall life, if you can kind of get that
it's
yourself.
It's so transferable, isn't it? It's just so you get that sort of, it transfers to every single component of your life. And that we talk about the ripple effect, we watch the impact, that it has on clients. They go out there, it's not just them that, they create a successful business, but they impact all their clients, all the people around them, their friends, their family, their loved ones, which is what you just indicated. So that helps us fulfill our mission of being able to impact people's lives in a more positive way. So
and it's a good thing for people to remember, isn't it? Because I think when we look at it, as a bigger thing than just about us as one individual person, it is that impact. Like you might feel that I've only got 10 clients. Well, 10 clients is amazing, because 10 clients is then 5, if that ripples out to 5 of their family or friends or whatever, like that they're in a healthier way and they're responding, they're not depressed and not having as much anxiety or whatever it might be, that ripples out. And I think it's bigger than not just you and me and us individuals.
It's super cool. We obviously, when we connect at our end of year Inspire event, which you're coming along as a guest presenter, which is super exciting. Well, at that event, me and it, right? We got all of our clients there, and like the conversations we commonly hear. Yeah, there's lots of business talk about targets and success, and I've achieved X, Y, and Z, but most importantly, the biggest conversations we hear about, it's the person they become in the process and so forth, and their lifestyle. And the biggest thing we hear people speak of is again, the fact that I've been able to reduce my hands-on hours, which has given me more time because I've got, let's say, a young family, or I'm able to do the things I enjoy more, or be able to go and live in Bali, or whatever it might be, right? Whatever your thing is, So and that's like super cool. It's like, this is engineer your lifestyle first. When you got that lifestyle business, it's such a powerful thing, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And being at those events are just so powerful in their own self, right? And I've been to pretty much as many as I could possibly go to in the time that I've been around you guys. And I can't say enough for the people that are new to the community. Immerse yourself in the events, immerse yourself to be around people. The top 5 people that you hang out with is who you become. So who are you hanging out with? Who's in your ear? What are you listening to? That's going to set you up for success. And when you're around people like you and I and the community that we've created, some of my best friends and your best friends are in those rooms, right? We've got some beautiful people in the community that don't see all the, every day of the week, but we get to catch up. You really build beautiful relationships and friendships to help support you, because we're all on the same mission, same journey, to help people.
Love it. Right there, that's the mic drop moment, that one.
So get yourself to the events is what I'm saying.
That's cool. All right, Kate. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like indicated, geez, just watching you personally, your journey, everything you've done over the decade. We've had the pleasure of knowing each other, but like, you're now literally living the dream. You've chosen to go, fuck, I'm gonna live in Bali. I'm gonna just have it run my way. Now you're running retreats there. You're impacting so many people and doing an amazing job. So I just want to say from us, all of us, your clients, and I speak on behalf of every single one of them, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was great to be here, and I'm honoured to be here and to be coaching your clients and speaking at the end of the year, and just always been around you guys. It's been a huge pleasure, and I couldn't be where I am today without you guys, both you and Jason, Lynn, and the community, for the support and friendship and everything. So we've had a little bit of fun. We've had a little bit of fun along the way, haven't we? We might have, we might have. We've had lots of fun. It's been lots of tears, lots of laughs, lots of cuddles, lots of drinks, lots of growth. It's just, amazing journey. So it's pretty cool to reflect on it. So, thank you. Outstanding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Kate Kendall, Impact Your Life. And thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Trainer HQ podcast. Thank you, Kate. Pleasure. All right. How fucking good. That was good. Yeah, that was excellent. Okay, let me just, are you sure you want to stop recording to the cloud? Yeah.